And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes, and I have now recovered from my travesty of a pack opening earlier, as I always do every single week, to talk about the market in NBA 2K21, my team. So hey, if you guys don't follow NBA 2K on Twitter, they brought back the brackets, which was kind of interesting, but I'll talk about that later at the end. So we got our moments challenges. I talked about these a little bit in my pack opening video, so if you haven't checked that out, I'll link it at the end of the video. But we got some challenges involving various people: Tobias Harris, Anthony Edwards, Zach LaVine, Gobert, Lillard, and specifically rewards Williams, which is something I definitely want to bring up because I've been seeing his standard cards go for a significant portion of MT. So I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that that was the reward Williams that you get for free with the locker code only. Also, why do they give you a standard heat check and not a deluxe heat check for finishing that? It's just so rude. So Rudy Gobert earlier, Gobert, I don't even know how to say his names half the time. Anyways, I bought him for about 12K earlier when he was going for really, really cheap. So on days like this, when these challenges come out, if you are awake early enough, it's smart when you see the challenges to just go buy a couple of the players involved, because the chances are they'll skyrocket throughout the day. Gobert is one of those ones where apparently a lot of people had him in their collection, so he didn't really skyrocket as much. But even though I bought him at 12, I could still sell him for 15 and make a couple thousand MT, which is cool. Not a crazy amount of MT, but any MT is really helpful at this point. So we'll talk about some other guys in the challenges and go from there. Where is he? Oh, Anthony Edwards. So if you don't have the draft set locked in, which I know a lot of people do, this Anthony Edwards card, if you do have it lying around somewhere, can get you upwards of 10K for even just the Emerald version. The reason being is we haven't really gotten any Anthony Edwards cards except the card today, which is going for about 40-50K. And this is the best possible one that you could use aside from that one. So you can get about 10-15K. I would probably think you're going to get more close to like 12 or 13 than anything, just because there's some Sapphire versions going for 15K, you know. But if you have that card, I would sell him now. Even if you like him, go buy him back later when he's a little bit cheaper. So because Zach LaVine, if you have this Pink Diamond Zach LaVine, maybe you bought it last week while he was super cheap or whatever, because he was about 40-50K last week. He's now going for almost 100,000 MT. It's tough to really it's just tough to wrap your head around why a card that was going for 40K would jump up 50K due to one XP challenge. It's just because everyone's so close to David Robinson that it's worth spending that MT just to get D-Rob at this point. Another card, I know I've talked about it a couple times already, but Damian Lillard, if you have him, now is a good time to get rid of him, even if you bought him yesterday when he was super cheap. This Damian Lillard is not worth talking about. This Zach LaVine, there's one. Look, you can just play rookie domination for these challenges. You don't have to go buy a Pink Diamond Zach LaVine. I promise you don't. You don't have to buy a Pink Diamond Damian Lillard. You could use the Damian Lillard that everybody starts with. And you'd be just fine. It's really not that big of a deal. This Anthony Edwards, he's actually a relatively good card. And after I saw a couple hype videos, I knew that he was going to be expensive, especially with the XP challenge and stuff. So earlier, I saw him go for about 35-40K, and I should have picked him up, but I did not. Well, I mean, he's going for about 40, so I guess I wouldn't have made too much MT. So you can get him for around in between 30 and 43, somewhere in that nature. Honestly, I don't recommend spending that for him, but if you're a big Anthony Edwards fan, then why not, right? It's relatively cheap. This Gobert is actually kind of expensive. You just have to get 18 rebounds. I would just grab the other one. He's cheaper and he can shoot. He brings a little bit more on offense. So if you're playing like a pro difficulty challenge game to get it done, it just helps you a little bit. Tobias Harris really isn't going for much. This card is actually really good, though I will say he has Yee's jump shot. So if you do not like Yee Jianling's jump shot at all, or Jonathan Isaacs, you're going to hate him. Tobias Harris, if you have the Amethyst one, yeah, sell him. He's going for about 19-20K. That's absurd. That's so much. It's ridiculous. Even some of the current versions are going for a pretty decent margin. I think current Anthony Edwards is going for, around 10K, which thankfully I put him in my auctions earlier but forgot to sell him. So that's good because I was going to put him up for 5K and now I can get 9, which is pretty tight. So if you have this current card, go sell him for 9K right now and then just go pick him up later if you're trying to complete collections. He'll be 800 MT in 5 days. without a doubt, like no question. Even some of the other guys, like I would recommend any of the sets you don't have locked in, just go get rid of these cards ASAP. Like Tobias Harris, you can get 3K. You'll be able to pick him up for 800, 700, or 800 on Friday. Like, I'm not even kidding. Zach LaVine, 2K, but legitimately he's discard value every time packs come out. So you can get rid of him for what, like 1,500 to 2K right now, and then go pick him up for 700 if you really want to complete the collection and stuff. Same with Gobert. He's probably going for a little bit more because it's rebound challenges. So 7, I like that. 4. Yeah, 3 to 4 is what I'm guessing he would be going for. So no biggie. I mean, you get rid of him for 3 to 4K, you go pick him up for 700 MT when the packs drop. Like, nothing really changes, and you make some MT, you know, a little bit more. Probably make like what, 1,500 MT in profit if you go pick him up for 700. That's super solid. Like, Robert Williams, okay, so he's not even involved in the actual challenges whatsoever. Like, only the free Robert Williams is, but this guy is still going for like 5K for some reason. I didn't even put him in my auctions earlier because I didn't even like think this was gonna last, but if I can get 5K for a silver right now, I'll do it. There's no question about it. And you should do the same thing. Even if you get 3 or 4K for that card, like, it's definitely worthwhile for sure, without a doubt. Other than that, like I was saying, if you guys were not aware, the market is also influenced by the super packs that we had yesterday. I was going to do a market video about the super pack cards yesterday, but I decided not to, and just waited till today because I figured we were getting something for St. Patrick's Day, which we did not get, but it doesn't really matter. Some of these guys are still stupid expensive. Like, all these playoff stopper guys are really expensive still, so if you have any of those, get rid of them if they're not locked in already. The dimers guys, like the diamonds, are actually really, really expensive for some, or really cheap for some reason. Oh, Robert Reed kind of went down in value as well. Yeah, same with Doc Rivers. I guess you only have to get 20 assists, so it's not really that big of a deal, but still recommend selling any of them if you can. They'll be cheaper later. Playoff records guys, same thing, relatively cheap. You only have to score 70 points with them, but at the same time, like, I mean, if you got the card, like, there's like 3 free Iversons that are better than this Iverson. 2. There's 2 free Iversons, but still, just get rid of them if you have it. You can get 10K for a diamond at this stage. You might as well. Like, Jordan's going for about 6. Wonder if he's being price fixed. It would appear he is. Let's see. Who else we got? The loyalty guys. Yeah. This is a challenge as well. John Havlicek was in a locker code earlier. If you guys didn't put that locker code in, let me know in the comments down below. I'll post it for you. But it basically gave you a chance at 1 of 5 players, including like Havlicek, Pink Diamond Ray Allen, triple threat reward Antoine Walker, Jared Sullinger, and Glenn Big Baby Davis. So John Havlicek is ridiculously cheap right now. Now, is he the best card that you can buy for this price? No. But is he a relatively good card that you can buy for this price? Absolutely. For sure. I mean, at this stage, he is a little bit outdated, but he's still, like, worthwhile. Especially if you're trying to be on a budget and fill out some teams for possible spotlight sims in the future. There's a lot of free Celtic options out there, so maybe it's not the best idea, but if you're a fan of Havlicek or you just want a sniper or whatever, let's see how cheap you can get him if you didn't end up getting him from the locker code. I mean, potentially you can make a little bit of MT if you grab a couple cheap ones and wait for them to go up, but I don't really know how much a Pink Diamond outdated John Havlicek is going to go up at this point. Like, there's not too many John Havlicek stands out here. And no, I'm not going to call him by the nickname that he's been given. Like, I refuse. It's John Havlicek. He's a white guy from the 60s. Like, it's not that tight. He doesn't deserve a cool nickname. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to get slandered by, like, the 2 Celtics fans who watch my channel. All right. So, like I said, the brackets are back. Now, if you guys didn't really know what's up with the brackets, so back in previous 2Ks, what they would do is they would do these brackets. Now, they're very interesting. They're tough, dude. There's a lot of cards in here, man. Basically, they do a Galaxy Opal tournament. They do a bracket. Everyone votes on it. And then whoever wins the bracket gets an Opal. Now, if that's going to be a packable or a free Opal, it really just depends. Like I said, not entirely sure. I don't know. I don't remember how they did it in the past, and it kind of is going to be iffy on how they do it in the future. So, the 2 guys, to give you an example, like the first matchup they posted was Jarrett Culver versus Patrick Ewing. So Jarrett Culver, I'm going to buy this Jarrett Culver for 800. Just A, to fill out the Timberwolves team, but also just in case he gets XP challenges or something. I doubt he will, but for 800 MT, it's a solid investment. I'm not really too worried about it. Worst case scenario, I'll lock him in for tokens. And then Patrick Ewing. Now, in theory, you would think everyone would vote for Jarrett Culver because, you know, he's like a 6'6" point guard with a lot of length, and he's like a younger guy and stuff like that. But you'd be wrong because for whatever reason, Patrick Ewing is winning this, and I don't really understand why. But yeah, if you have a Twitter, you follow NBA 2K21 My Team, you can go vote on these matchups. So it's Jarrett Culver versus Patrick Ewing, Andre Drummond versus Jay Williams. Jay Williams in theory should win, but he won't. Kemba Walker versus Jason Terry. Who cares? Greg Oden versus Jahlil Okafor. Nobody wants that. And so on and so on. So because of the super packs yesterday, obviously all the throwback moments guys are down in price. So if you've been looking at any of these guys throughout the year, but you just haven't wanted to pay the price for them, now is a good time. Michael Carter-Williams going for like 1,200 MT. I think everybody should have that card for Spotlight Sims and various other stuff. There's just not a lot of point guards for the 76ers in their history besides AI. Ben Gordon's going for very, very cheap. And if you have to do any Bulls-based challenges and you don't have the MT to pay for the expensive Bull players like Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan and stuff, Ben Gordon does really well. Alonzo Mourning is cheap. I recommend a lot of people buy him because, like I said, the Hornets don't have very many big men in their history, so it's worth locking down in Alonzo Mourning if you can. Steve Francis, well, if he goes even remotely close to 30K, like right at 30K, I'll buy him. I've been waiting on this card for a while, so I hope that I don't think he's going to go down anymore, so I should probably just pay 32, but I'm being stingy. All right, Marc Gasol. He's still probably one of the best big men option as far as this price point, around like 30K. He's probably the best card, at least close to it. Like Maxi Kleber's pretty good too, but he doesn't really fit all play styles. Like if you play like DVG, you're going to like Maxi Kleber, but some people are not, especially if they use their big men in a more traditional fashion. Bob McAdoo is another card that I'm saying I'm going to spend MT on because the Clippers also don't have a wealth of big men in their history, so it's probably not a bad idea for me to pick him up. Now, should you? I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you. I try not to make these predictions in advance because I'm 90% of the time I'm wrong, so is every other creator. It's just hard to really predict stuff like this with 2K. They're trying their best to be unpredictable this year. I will say that it's not a bad idea to spend 2,000 MT on Smush Parker. I know I've been critical on Smush Parker in the past, just saying that he's not as good as some of the creators say he is. But for 2,000 MT, he's great. Like, that's just, there's no argument there. Like, he really is that good. Season of Giving guys are also cheap as well, so if you had your eye on any of these guys, obviously besides Zach LaVine, who's ridiculously expensive for no reason, now's a good time to pick these guys up too. They're kind of outdated, so they're not really great, but they're still very usable. Like, I'm keeping Tatum in case he gets XP challenges or moment stuff, which I bet he will, and goes up in price a little bit, so that's my thing. Bob Pettit, I have enough Hawks big men, so I'm not really too worried about it, but like Bam Adebayo is another guy I might pick up just because the Heat have kind of a weak roster of big men, so I might pick him up, especially if his price is cheap enough. Yeah, if he goes down to like 5K, I'll pick him up. Same with somebody else too. Jerry Lucas. Yeah, Jerry Lucas, like the Kings don't really have a great wealth of big men, especially if you didn't get like the DeMarcus Cousins and who's the other guy? Vlade Divac stuff done, like those grinding challenges. But for 5K, that's a really good deal. I'm going to pick him up for 5K, and if we do get spotlight challenges, I'll make some MT back on that. I'm just prepping for the beginning of Season 6. Now, I do think potentially that they're going to give us spotlight challenges later, possibly Season 7. We might get domination next year instead. But just on the off chance that we do get some, I'm going to pick up some players from those teams. Worst case scenario, I lose, a couple thousand MT by having to sell them back at cost, or just holding on to them until then. So, now, for my free grinders out there, we do get Pink Diamond Ben Wallace this week. As well as I think next week, early next week. We get one of them early next week, one of them this week. As well as that, we do get a current player. I'm not entirely sure who that current player is, so if you know, comment down below. I just don't remember exactly who it was. I feel like I've said it a bunch of times. I just, at this point, can't remember. So, as always, it has been your boy Cheap Ludes. check out my description for all the stuff on my Patreon, podcast, etc., all that good stuff. I will be posting on the community page later tonight, so drop your team, your TMR, your playstyle, who you're green with, etc., because I am bringing back the squad tip series tomorrow. So I will see you then. Peace.